Welcome back to Augment, the Warframe series that takes a look at less useful augment mods in Warframe, describing the issues with the mod and offering my own suggestions on how to fix them. Today, we'll be taking a look at an augment for Inaros Sandstorm that allows the ability to inflict status effects from your melee weapon, Elemental Sandstorm. First, the positives. The ability to inflict status effects can help counter the fact that Inaros is not immune to damage during the ability, and elemental damage types such as heat, electric, and blast can crowd control enemies and prevent them from attacking, as well as radiation damage making nearby enemies become vulnerable to attacks from their former allies. Because Grineer often have heavy armor, corrosive damage can allow the ability to remove said armor and do more damage to these enemies. These are some of the reasons why this augment is on this list, however. For one, similar to Zephyr's tornado ability, Sandstorm is more useful in areas with low ceilings, as enemies can be tossed out of the radius and get up, then continue firing at the exposed Inaros inside. The damage is still very low despite the addition of status effects, and the player must build for high range to take advantage of the potential crowd control the augment adds. As with most augment mods on this series, however, a big issue is with the ability themselves, which are often mediocre to begin with and only obtain a mild increase in effectiveness when the augment mod is added. Here are some of my suggestions to fix this augment to make it more useful. My first suggestion is to improve the ability's elemental effects, giving the ability more crowd control. Elemental Sandstorm will now double the effective radius, as well as add an additional second radius that extends 10 meters beyond the actual sandstorm that has a much milder storm effect, mostly to prevent visual griefing, that deals 50% damage and slows enemies by 15% at base. This way, Sandstorm covers a wider area, which allows the elemental procs to be more useful. My second suggestion is to allow Inaros to create a devastating elemental Dust Devil when ending the ability. This Dust Devil will stay in one spot and have half the range, but also linger on that spot for 60% of the duration that Inaros casted the ability for, while having the base 50% chance to deal elemental procs like normal. For example, if Inaros used Sandstorm for 30 seconds, then ended the ability, a Dust Devil will be created on that spot and last 18 seconds, allowing Inaros to move around and let the storm hold off an area for a short time. A third suggestion I had in mind completely reworks how Sandstorm works. When dust storms happen in real life, electrical charges will often be created from the whirring of dust and sands, which can create electrical shocks and lightning to occur. Now when enemies enter the radius of the storm, they will be constantly shocked in place by electrical arcs, which will also arc between enemies within 5 meters of each other and double the damage of the ability. The more enemies that enter the radius, the more electricity damage is added to the ability and the more powerful the electric shocks become. This would create a devastating electrical storm that would become more powerful as more victims are trapped inside. This has been Augment. Tune in next time where we will cover yet another augment mod.